Hello there, this is Dave Allen of Good and Geeky, and today we're having a look at a little problem that Andrew Brotherson was trying to solve, how to make this shape in Affinity Designer. So here we've got Affinity Designer, let's get to it. So the first thing to do is to go for some rounded rectangle shapes. So I've got that selected already. Let's start with the shape at the top there, and you want to sort of get and do this rounded rectangle so it's fully rounded there. Then we're going to make some more shapes for the parts that drop down. So we're going to start here and go up, and we're going to make those round as well. And I think what we should do actually as well is to make these shapes with a bit of a colour in there so we can see them. So let's have those two selected, and we're going to make them a nice little bright purple colour. Lovely. Okay, so the next thing to do then is to maybe change that shape just a wee bit there, because it's not quite the shape that he was looking for. The thing with the rounded rectangle is that once you've sort of got the sort of rounded bits there done, you can sort of change the actual sort of dimensions of the rounded rectangle, and the curves stay correct as they're supposed to when you're changing the shape. So let's go for about that size there, and we're going to have to move that up a bit there so that we don't have the rounded bit dropping down below the bottom edge of the top rectangle. So we'll start with that one about there, maybe just a little bit thinner, and then we want to sort of duplicate that shape. So we're going to use Command J to duplicate it, and then I'm going to move that duplicate across. So I'll hold down the shift keys and move it across to get it exactly where I want it. That stops it from moving up and down, and then I just need to press the Control J a couple of times to get the required number of items that I need. Now we can start changing the length of these so that they're about the sort of shape that Andrew was looking for. And this one here is sort of around about so big. Then what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to join these shapes together. So I have all of these shapes selected, and then I'm going to use the Boolean Add tool. So now we need to adjust the shape even more, and we're going to use the Node tool to do that. Okay, so let's select these two nodes and hold down the shift key when you're bringing them down so that they're about in the right place there. Then I'm going to select these other two ones here, and we're going to bring those down so it's around about there. Now the next thing to do is to put the rounded bits in this here. We could do it manually by sort of grabbing this bit in the middle here and bringing it up, and then turn it into a node like that. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. You could do that. It's not a bad way of doing it. It kind of works, you know. Let's move that up just a bit more just to get the shape, the curve just right. So that's one way of doing it. Now another way to do this would be to get the rounded rectangle tool again. Let's go for the rounded rectangle tool. And this time I'm going to put the rectangle tool here. Start on this edge here and then take it up. And so that it's on that line there. And I'll make that a different colour there so we can see it a little bit better. So let's make it a blue. So once I'm zoomed in a little bit, I can get and move those outer edges out a little bit so that they line up with the lines on the main shape. Okay, so the next thing to do then is to get the rectangle sort of looking right. So let's get this here and bring it in. So with the main shape selected, and then the blue rounded rectangle, which I'm using as the cookie cutter tool, I can do a Boolean subtract. So now I can do a little bit of tidying up by selecting those couple of nodes there on the straight part, deleting them so that we've got a perfectly good straight line there. And over on this side here, delete those nodes there, and it's just spot on. And then you do the same for these other ones over here as well, and you soon have it looking right. Now what about these corners here? How are we going to do those? Okay, so what I want to do now anyway is I want to sort of change the shape of this one here, and again I could do that manually by putting nodes here and nodes here, and then sort of making the curve out of it. So that'd be one way to do it, but another way to do it would be to use the ellipse tool. And I'm going to make a shape here that's an ellipse. I'm holding the shift key down while I'm doing it there and get it so it's just about right there. And then I'm going to get the move tool, bring this down so that it's about right. Let's just go in closer and see what we're doing. And I'm going to bring that in so that it's as close to those edges as I can make it. Okay, that's close enough. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this shape here again. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the node edit tool, grab that node edit tool, and I'm going to put a node here, down to here, I put a node there, grab that node there, and I'm going to delete it. Then we're going to need to use the move tool again, and then we can do a Boolean subtract. And now we've got a pretty perfect looking corner, which only needs just a little bit of tidying up. After that, just to finish it off, is go back to the node editing tool, and you might want to just sort of delete one of those there, just to tidy it up a little bit. There, now it's just spot on. So when you've done that, all you've got to do then to finish this shape off is go to the other side of it and do that side over there, finish these two bits here to do the same as we did over here, and you're winning. How about that then? Nice and easy to do. And of course the other thing you can do when you've done this here is put some sort of style in there, or go for some sort of shapes or whatever. Effects, go for the 3D effect, and with the 3D effect put a bit more of a radius on there, so a bit more paint sort of shape like. And there we go, we have a nice sort of design ready, done, and it's pretty much as Andrew Brotherston was looking for, apart from those random bits which I didn't bother finishing off, but I'm sure Andrew gets the idea now. This is Dave Allen for Good and Geeky, and I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial on how to make this shape there. If you've got something from it, don't forget to put a like on the video, and also subscribe to get more of these tutorials from Good and Geeky. Bye bye now, talk to you again soon.